This is Evangelist George McTire of the Word of God Ministry, and I have a message for you today that I entitled Three Undeniable Truths that, when followed, will guarantee you to have a rich and prosperous life. It is a violation of these one or more of these truths that is causing us all of the problems that we have in this nation, and especially in the black community. Now, as I said, these are undeniable truths. I don't care who you are, where you came from, what beliefs you have in your life. There are certain things that are part of your life that cannot be altered, disregarded, or anything else, and you still be able to have a decent life. The Bible tells us, I'm not going to use many scriptures today, but the Bible tells us, among other things, that you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set or make you free. Truth is, by definition, truth. It is a fact. Evidence supports truth. And I'm going to give you three truths that, like I said before, if you live your life according to these truths, then everything is going to work out fine for you. Truth number one is this: God is in control of everything that happens in the universe, in the galaxy, on this earth, above the earth, under the earth, in the lives of every individual, or in groups. It makes nations, cities, nations, it makes no difference. God is in control of everything that happens anywhere and to anybody. Now, why is this significant? It is significant to this point: nothing good or bad can happen to you, your family, your neighborhood, your community, your city, state, or nation, group. It does not matter. Nothing good or bad can happen to you unless God allows it to happen. The flip side of that is, then, quite frankly, nothing good or bad can happen if God doesn't give the okay for it. It goes even so far as to say this: you can't even die unless God allows it to happen. That's how critical this first truth is. Consequently, then, with that being the case, when it comes down to the problems that we're having in this nation, the problems we're having in the black community, especially with the killing of our young people on the streets by drugs, car accidents, heart attacks and strokes and things like that, or being killed by white police officers. Those things are happening because God is allowing them to happen. Consequently, then, the question should be, or what you should be asking then, is why is God allowing this to happen? Not that God is causing it to happen. Notice I said He is allowing it to happen. Now your question is to find out why. But in the black community, no, we don't go that route. Something bad is happening to us and we want to find somebody to blame. That's the wrong approach. A person that is living by the truth that God is in control of everything, the first thing that ought to come out of their mouth is to ask, why is God allowing this to happen to me? Am I doing something that displeases Him, that is causing Him to allow this to happen to me? That's the first thing that ought to come out your mouth instead of going around blaming other people, because 99 times out of 100, what's happening to you is happening to you because of something that you are doing. It ain't got nothing to do with the man next door, the politician, the police officers, the white man, the Republican Party, or anything else. Something that you are doing is what is causing God to allow what's happening to you to happen. And until you get that straight first, it's going to continue to happen. That goes for the black community as well. You ought to quit running around here talking about the fact of racism and white supremacy being the cause of the problem. The problem is, go in your bathroom, go in your closet or that door while you driving or something. Don't drive and do it, but pull over, look in the mirror, and you'll see 99 times out of 100, the cause of your problems is you. Get that straight first. Number two and three could be interchangeable, but I'm just putting them in this order. Number one is going to stay exactly where it is. But number two is this. You can't make a right, a rational, or a justifiable decision when you are only operating with part of the information. Let me repeat that again. In order for you to come to the correct conclusion about something that is happening in your life, something that is happening in the community, in your family, or whatever it is, or just like when you go to court and you sit on a jury, in order for you to make the correct decision as to the guilt or innocence of a person, you need to have all of the facts so you can make the right decision. You cannot make a right decision when you don't have all of the information. And once again, this goes back to, where are you getting the information that you're getting, that you're basing your decisions on? Are you listening to both sides of the issue? Are you researching the problem, picking up books, reading information about certain things? Uh, when people present a case for you as to why you should think like this, that, or the other, always check to see what the other side has to say. Read up the information, and then before you make a decision, compare that with what God has to say about it. Once again, you have to go back to God and see what He has to say about it before you make a right decision. Otherwise, you're going to go out here half cocked on something, go out here and do something irrational, cause somebody to be harmed, hurt, or killed because you operating on part of the information. And when you black folks out there, you know how most of y'all are when it comes down to where you get your information from. You get it from your black leaders. You get it from the Democrats. You get it from talk show hosts on the radio that have a spin basically blaming everybody else except the fact that it might possibly be something that the black community itself is doing wrong that's got it in the position that it's in today. But you don't hear that because you only listening to one side of the issue, so you form an opinion on that, and then you wonder why everybody hates you, why everybody seems to be picking on you, by it, why everybody's disrespecting you, because they're getting sick and tired of being accused and blamed for your problems when your problems are self began with what you're doing. It ain't got anything to do with what they're doing, is what you're doing. And then you go and try to get the government to pass laws to punish these other people, and they getting sick and tired of having to pay more taxes, lose jobs and things and carrying on because of your idiotic behavior about blaming them for something that they ain't had nothing to do with. And in 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, I'll say it that much, it's the fact that the ones that need to be blamed are the ones you giving a free pass to. You can't believe that they're the ones that are guilty of doing what doing what they're doing that's causing you all these problems. And I'm talking mainly about your black leaders. But as I said, and see, they're only giving you the information that they think you want to hear, or what it is. They're being paid by the actual guilty parties to tell you it's the other group that is the problem. It's the white man, it's the GOP, it's white supremacy, it's racism. And then you just go off on a tangent and things, and then you wonder why everything keeps on going wrong for you. Once again, because you're not following the guidelines of the undeniable truths, which number one's, like I said, putting God first. Now, undeniable truth number 3. As I said, these two could be interchanged, number 2 and 3, but number 1 stays the same. Undeniable truth number 3 is this: if you are living or believing a lie, then nothing is going to work well for you, no matter which way you cut it. 1 + 1 equals 2. It don't equal 3. It doesn't equal 4. It doesn't equal any number you want to add into it. 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's a fact. By the same token, you can't defy or go against what God says. You can't rely on partial information. And you definitely cannot live a lie and expect life to go comfortably or for you to prosper in it. It just is not going to happen. Now, what am I talking about living a lie? Well, I was just reading an article today about a situation that we have in society here in this nation about the so-called LGBTQ community and this thing about transgenders, where people are being led to believe that a person that is born with a male, that's a male, a little boy, and a person that is born as a little girl, somehow or other can grow up and figure out, hey, I'm in the wrong body. I'm supposed to be a little girl if it's a man. I mean, if it's a boy and a little girl talking about, and I'm supposed to be a man. Where do you get that mess from? The Bible says God made 2 genders. The man first, and then the woman. That's it. But no, now they having this situation where a transgender person, Bruce Jenner, who's now Caitlyn Jenner, had a sex change operation from changing from a man to a woman. He's living a lie, but he said something that I would agree with 100%, because I've been seeing or reading about it in the papers, where a bunch of boys have had operations to change themselves into little girls. Then they go into these girls' sports like racing, volleyball, and I guess basketball, whatever the case may be. And I mean, they just cleaning the clock. I mean, they winning all the trophies and things, and the girls who are still girls can't compete. In other words, these transgender males who are identifying themselves as girls are basically winning all the trophies and things. And if you ask me, the reason why they doing that is because they weren't no good as boys, so they wanted to try to win some trophies and things. So they say, hey, we'll change over to girls and go in there, and but you know they're changing their gender identity, but they still have male bodies and muscles and things, which allows them to run faster, be stronger, and to be able to do things that girls can't do. And they winning all these trophies, and the little girls have to go home and sit back and say, well, what are we supposed to do? We can't do anything. We can't transgender in the boys' activities because they gonna beat us over there. So the girls are being basically knocked out of competing in anything because of these boys. And Caitlyn Jenner said it's not fair for transgender girls that were boys and have been transformed into girls going into girls' sports. And he's against them, making laws and passing laws, forcing this situation for these transgender boys to be able to participate in girls' sports. That's a lie, because what they're basing their conclusions on is the fact that God, once again, God is involved here, that God evidently made a mistake and put a little boy in a girl's body, or put a little girl in a boy's body, and the doctors have examined them and say, hey, this isn't a boy. Your son should actually be a girl, or your daughter should actually be a boy. This is something that man has done. Once again, and see, that's one issue. But there's a whole lot of issues, just like abortion. Some scientist somewhere says, well, what you have growing in your womb is not really a human until it comes out and gets its first breath of fresh air and lives independent of you. Then that's a human. That's not what God says. Like I say, you're living a lie believing that what's growing in your womb is not human. Read what God has to say about it. Read how God says before the child was in the womb, he knew the child. Then he goes on to say that when it was in the womb, he was forming the child in the womb. It's not just a act of nature, so to speak. Like I said, God is in control of everything, including the forming of a baby in the womb of the mother. And then Bible also goes on and says that God sanctified that child to be used for a specific purpose. We got people today that are looking for cures for sugar, diabetes, cancer, this pandemic, this COVID and stuff, and all these other uncurable diseases. And we're trying to work, spending billions of dollars trying to find the cure. Well, the Bible, according to what God says, he predestined, because I asked him this. Yes, I do talk to the Lord, and the Lord does answer me through his word in the Bible, or just through my regular thinking on the level is looking at things the way he sees them. But he told me, he said, I asked him, I said, Lord, you said that you will not withhold any good thing from those that ask you. I said, we got people dying from cancer, stroke, high blood pressure, heart disease, and this, that, and other. People are losing their jobs and things like that. Their health is going bad and things, and people are praying, and nothing seems to be working. Lord, I thought you said if we're asking for you to send us a cure for these diseases, why haven't you done it? And he told me, I've done it millions of times. I sent all types of children into the world that if they had been allowed to been born, would have grown up and would have discovered the cure. Because one thing you got to know about God, if God designates somebody to discover a cure for something, then I don't care who is spending all hours of the days and nights, spending all told millions of dollars trying to find the cure, they aren't going to do it. You know why? Because like I said, God either allows something or he doesn't allow it. And if he don't give the okay, you can search till you're blue in the face, bankrupt this whole entire nation trying to find a solution for something. You're not going to do it because God's not allowing it to be done. And like I said, once again, it all boils down to the fact, the number one undeniable truth, God is in control. Now, some of y'all may not like it. I don't care. But those are the facts, because George, Evangelist George McTire said so. And if you don't want to take my word for it, it's because God said so. So I hope you got something out of that of this little message. Ran long on it. I tried to cut it short, but I have to go by what God tells me, and I'll say what he says, and then leave it up to you to either go along with it or reject it. But also remember this: once you've been exposed to the truth, you reject it, then that's just going to make God double down on your problems and allow things to get even worse for you. So this is Evangelist George McTire saying, have a blessed day and get into those undeniable truths, because they could be the very thing that saves your life, the lives of your family and friends. Good day.